Hello, you have reached Merrivale and Cliche, private investigators, investigating your private since 2003. Our crack team of crime-fighting professionals are either too busy or inebriated to take your call. If you would like to leave a message for Miss Merrivale, please press 1. If you would like to leave a message for Detective John Cliche, please press 2. If you would like to hear the cliché thought of the day, please press 3. If you would like to hear some poetry, please press 4. If you are currently being murdered, please press 5.
Oh, I say hello. Name's Hemlock, and I'm in rather a bit of a pickle, if you must know. I'm organising the 384th Annual After Dinner Speaking Awards Dinner, and I'm afraid to say that 2 of the nominees for the awards have rather died in mysterious circumstances. I tried to get in touch with you over the old telephonograph last night, after old Cheesy Cheeseborough died, but all I got was your machine, and well, I thought about leaving a message, but then I selected the rather glorious option 4, and I found myself thinking, oh, what gloriousness is this? Such amazing insights, such fabulous metaphor, such wonderful rhyme scheme. This is quite simply the grandest, most heartfelt thing I've heard in all my years of public speaking. I was rather hoping to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, as it were. You come here and investigate the deaths, and whatever delightful wordsmith you have working for you there can come and read his soul fruits in our competition, so we don't have to cancel. Well, anyway, can't keep chilling the work with you any longer. There's so much to do here, so many table settings to arrange, podiums to erect, bloodstains to wash out of bedroom floors, you know. I'll see you soon. Tickety-tonk.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're not quite ready in here. If you could just please wait at the bar.
Merrivale Cliche, private investigators. Yeah. Got your message?
Oh, thank you so much for coming so quickly. The constabulary has so far proved quite useless.
Well, so long as they're proving something, I'm sure they'll be quite happy. You mentioned something about people dying in mysterious circumstances?
Yeah, lady, what's the story? And stick to the point this time.
John, there's really no need to be so rude.
Oh, I'm just having flashbacks to the phone, Merrivale. Our time here is limited, and you don't want to waste precious seconds listening to some lady blah blah blahing when you could do something more important with the limited time you've got before you end up going to a better place.
What's brought this on, John? You're not going to die anytime soon.
Who mentioned anything about dying? The bar opens in an hour.
I thought you were looking after your liver.
I am. Preserving it. In alcohol.
Are you two quite finished? I've still so much to do around here before the competition and dinner.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Hemlock. Please, do tell us about the deaths.
Oh, the deaths. They've proved dashed inconvenient, I can tell you. 2 of our contestants were found in the early hours this morning, dead in their hotel rooms. One seemed to have fallen into his trouser press, and the other, well, Mr. Cheesy McCheeseborough seems to have accidentally cut off his head while shaving the poor bugger. The police have put them down to tragic accidents, but I'm not so sure. One maybe, but two on the eve of the biggest after-dinner speaking event of the year.
I see what you mean. It certainly does sound suspicious. What do you think, John?
I think, therefore, I am.
Oh dear. John's been at the day part again. Oh, is there any chance we might be able to see the bodies?
Daphne, have you finished finalising the... Oh, who are these people, Daphne?
The private investigators I have hired, John Cliche and Miss Merrivale.
Merrivale? Is that you? My God, you've gotten old.
Haven't we all, Gerald? Haven't we all?
So, how's washing the hair coming along?
Oh, God, not another one.
John, I'd like you to meet Gerald Oleander. Gerald and I knew each other back in the 60s.
You said you'd call.
And here I am. Ta-da!
Gerald, ignore her. She's not important. What is important is that I have found a replacement to enter into our competition. We're saved.
I see, and where is this replacement? I see. Well, go on then. Give us an example. I don't want you embarrassing the good name of the annual after-dinner speaking awards dinner if you're not up to scratch.
I have written a poem. It is called The Gun. Bang, 1. Bang, 2. Bang, 3. Bang, 4. Bang, 5. People dead.
Oh, such beauty, such insight, such minimalism.
Well, he's certainly better than that other moron of a replacement.
Oh, I do wish you wouldn't complain so, Gerald Oleander. We couldn't have had a competition at all with only one competitor, but to lose 3 in the space of 24 hours.
Lose 3 competitors? Has there been a third murder?
No, the first one's just lost his voice, that's all. Well, we think he might have actually had it stolen.
Are you sure it isn't just lost?
No, he swears he had it just last night when he went to bed. In a locked room, no less, and yet this morning woke to find it had gone.
That still sounds like it.
Merrivale, please. This is clearly a most serious case. Have no fear, Miss Hemlock. John Cliche is on the case now. I will never stop until I have found the person who did this. Never rest until justice is served. I will never cease until they lie dead in a gutter full of bullet holes. Just like my wife, who was brutally gunned down by assailants unknown. The police investigation turned up nothing, so I threw in my bag.
Miss Hemlock, perhaps you could give us some more details.
Very well. He was here with me just last night, running through rehearsals. He even gave me a sneak peek of his latest tale of the world's greatest detective.
So, he's a fan then.
Miss Hemlock, what is the name of this guest speaker?
His name, why, is the famous biographer, Dr. Watson, of course.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, yes. You can send these amateurs home now, Miss Halmstead. Sherlock Holmes is on the case. Amateurs.
It's Hemlock, Mr. Holmes.
No, I thought of that. Hemlock would have killed them outright. But poisoning certainly seems like the most likely culprit. I'm going to go down to the kitchen and search for clues. You can sort out all the riffraff here. I'll have this solved by lunchtime. And by dinner, I'll be collecting my prize for my tales of daring do. We'll be in the money again, Watson. No more rummaging around in bins for us. Speaking of bins, you two are a pair of has-beens. That's good.
Don't worry, Miss Hemlock. We'll take your case.
I thought I'd already done that.
There's one thing that I don't quite understand, though. If you already have the world's greatest detective here, why did you call us?
Isn't it obvious? The man's a blithering idiot.
Oh, don't get me wrong, Doctor. Your stories are marvellous, thrilling tales. The case of the 4 studies with scarlet signs was incredible, and your hounds in bassinets had me all quiver with fear. But I must say, meeting the man in person has been such a letdown. Still, I suppose it speaks even more highly of your ability as a weaver of fiction, which makes your current predicament such a shame, because I was looking forward to your new tale with such anticipation. The case of the robot maid who pulled out her master's heart. The title sounds very mysterious indeed. Miss Merrivale, Mr. Cliche, you came to me so highly recommended that I do hope that not only can you solve these crimes, but return the good doctor's voice, preferably in time for dinner. Now, if you'll excuse me, there are still some matters I must see to before proceeding.
So, 3 out of the 4 competitors have been nobbled. I'm starting to see a motive here. Who is this 4th competitor and where could we find them?
It's one hazy loss from Germany, and I do believe this is him now.
How odd.
Right. Now to investigate the crime scene. Now don't worry, Doctor, this ain't gonna hurt me a bit. Now, open up. Say ah.
Now then, listen to me, everyone. I've invited you all here to this chamber of gastronomic consumption for a quick update as to the investigator rigmarole. The dinner is nearly upon us, which means the competition is too. But there is a pall cast upon the whole thing. What have you discovered?
Other than where the chef keeps his supply of chocolates.
I can categorically state that no one here died as a result of chocolate. This was certainly no death by chocolate.
But have there been any actual crime solved?
Well, the only thing the contents of Dr. Watson's stomach revealed was who was responsible for the great bin rummage case Merrivale and I became embroiled in last week.
Bet you regret shooting that badger now, don't you, John?
Nope. Had it coming to him, the cold-eyed, TV-spreading bastard.
Well, if you want to know exactly what we've found, then I can tell you. Not a sausage.
That's where I've come up trumps again, Merrivale. Not only did I find the sausages, but I put them out of harm's way. And delicious they were too. Wouldn't you agree, Watson? You beat me when... Silence, Watson!
Mr. Holmes, am I right in assuming that not content with eating all of tonight's planned dessert, you've also eaten most of the main course as well?
I'd have eaten all of them if I hadn't been chased out with rolling pins.
The competitors will not be impressed with this. I really don't know how they're going to speak to their full potential if Chef hasn't had a chance to stuff their mouths full of his tasty, juicy bangers.
Speaking of the contestants, where are they anyway?
Oh, they're having tea and biscuits while we have this discussion. Didn't want to worry them unnecessarily.
Tea and biscuits? Am I not a contestant? Where are my tea and biscuits?
We didn't want the others to starve.
So I have to. No, I will have my biscuits. Ladies, if you'll excuse me.
Come back here.
So you found nothing to tell you how this was done? What about when you investigated the murder scenes?
Well, now that you mention it, there were 1 or 2 things. Cheesy McCheeseborough was one of the most hirsute men I've ever seen in the buff, and his full, long, and oh so thick beard was his most distinguishing feature. It even won Beard of the Year at the annual Beard Awards in Dusseldorf not 3 weeks ago. Yet, He shaved it off on the night he died, slipping with the razor and cutting his own head off in the process. That didn't seem quite right to me. Plus, I could find no sign of the shorn whiskers.
Well, maybe he washed them down the sink as he was going along.
Maybe, but that doesn't explain what John found, or rather, didn't find, at the other murder scene. Tell her, John.
Lady, let me tell you, it was a sight like no other. A sight so horrible that it was only after clearing out the minibar and charging it to the deceased that I was able to carry out my duties and think clearly. He'd been pressed to death in the trouser press, all right. But one thing still bothered me. Where were his trousers? Where was his suit? I could find nothing of it. Just a man, upside down in a trouser press, in tidy whities.
So, I still don't see what you're getting at.
It's quite simple, my dear Hemlock. I think the killer took both the beard and the suit as a disguise.
Oh my goodness, a true fiend! And yet we have no idea as to who they are.
You're right. We've spent too long contemplating the how and the why, and not enough time considering the who.
Ah, those rock and roll renegades. I was always a big fan of my generation.
Really, I always found that quite bland. Right, sorry, Doctor Who stole Watson's voice and murdered the other contestants.
Did he now? Sonic screwdriver job I expect usually is.
What?
No, who?
Exactly. Who would benefit from Watson losing his voice and the elimination of the other contestants?
It's him.
Who do you mean, John?
That figure I've been pursuing. That shadowy man from the fateful night my wife died. It's him. I just know it is.
But why would a criminal from the mean streets of Merrivale come all this way just to murder a couple of contestants in an after-dinner speaking competition and steal the voice of another one?
I know
Why
I'm...
would he do it?
I know I'm right, Merrivale. I've got a tingling in my water. And I'm 90% it's not a urinary infection this time.
But there are more likely candidates. I mean, how about that mob boss whose son we put away for stealing commits the other week? He wasn't very happy with us.
Oh, Merrivale, I know it's him. My water's never wrong. Except when it is and I need to go to hospital.
Or what about that sinister genius who committed hundreds of grisly murders under the disguise of a one-man YMCA cover band, who, despite us revealing his true identity as a prominent member of the House of Lords, is still on the loose?
No, this isn't Lord Jukebox style. Whoever is doing this is taunting me, Merrivale. They'd know it was him. They'd know that I know it. They'd know it was him. They've known it all this time. They'd be just around the corner, laughing at me, rubbing my face in the death of my beautiful wife.
Ooh, the pensioner who tried to ruin the supply of custard creams for all of England. I mean, sure, he was caught up in that explosion at the chemical factory, but it might not have stopped him.
Thanks for trying to cheer me up, Merrivale. But I know I'm right. I know what I must do.
Oh dear.
Well, I hope he's away to change for dinner. Can't have him looking like that, the dirty scruff-a-muffin. Talking of dinner, I suppose I'd better go and get ready myself. kind folky dokes to the 384th after-dinner speaking awards dinner on a night that promises to be absolutely splendiferous. As some of you know, the awards this year have been beset with difficulties, starting with the dyslexic engraver and ending with some of the nominees having to pull out due to unforeseen circumstances, namely their death. But rest assured, these problems have been surmounted. Our trophies no longer state that these are the 384th Patadina Spanking Awards, and our fallen comrade chaps have been replaced with other excellent speakers. I would like you to give them a hearty welcome as I introduce you to this year's finalists. Unfortunately, Mr. Holmes is not quite feeling himself after eating a year's supply of chocolate hobnobs, but I'm sure he'll be as fit as a Fidelio come the actual contest. He is, of course, replacing Dr. Watson. Stand up, Doctor. Let us see you. And then there is Lord Sputnik of Dixon's, your lordship.
I have written a poem. It is called Everything After Death. A poem. Death, then.
Yes, thank you, your lordship. And now, our final and only original contestant, all the way from Germany, our Bavarian bard, our Teutonic Tennyson, Herr Seelos. And now, I'd like to hand you over to a man who needs no further introduction.
I guess David's talking about me. You all know me, all know what I do for a living. Fight crime, have done ever since I was a little boy. But things became more personal to me when my wife was brutally gunned down.
Actually, you numbskull, I think she was referring to me. At this point of the proceedings, I would normally have the pleasure of saying grace. But in keeping with Lord Sputnik's wishes and his assertion that there is no God, only fear, emptiness, and pain, we have agreed to forego that. So, you may start eating your meals. Enjoy your dinner.
Hey, Guy, what the heck is this?
Sir, that is an outrageous slur on our kitchen. All of our chefs are waxed daily from head to toe to ensure that no hairs may get into the soup.
Well, somebody's been dipping their ginger beard in the broth, and make no mistake. Bring me something else. Preferably something that's bled before getting onto the plate. I like to know things have died to keep me alive. It's called the circle of life, buddy, or ain't you never seen The Lion King?
As Monsieur wishes, I am sure we can put a rock to her.
Right, Merrivale, I can't take this any longer. You made me look a complete fool standing there by the phone, day after day, waiting for you to call. I demand to know why you didn't. I demand to know why you could so callously cast me aside and break my heart. I deserve an explanation.
Just eat your soup, dear, and we'll talk about this later.
No!
Oh, yeah, I still got it. You don't want to eat that, fella. That thing's been poisoned by something so terrible and foul, I can barely describe to you how disgusting and putrid it must be.
John, we talked about this. You can't go around talking about ginger people in this way, especially not when we're up in Glasgow on Friday night.
This is worse than an urban addition to our appetizer, Merrivale. This soup's been poisoned to finish off the rest of the contestants.
Golly gosh, I do believe you're right, John. What a tragic end to so many lives.
I know, Merrivale. I know.
I mean, cock-a-leek is such a revolting soup. If only they could have died eating something tasty. Oh well. We must bring this killer to justice before they strike again.
Well, luckily, none of our nominees seem to have been affected. Thank goodness the contest will still go ahead. Anyway, if you'll excuse me, Merrivale, I must go and find someone to dispose of these corpses so we can make space for the podium. I wonder where we put those wee bins.
Merrivale, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, especially for that period in the 30s when I walked on my knees. But I implore you, don't let that woman down. She has been a rock to me and has helped me in some dark times. I'll always remember that day when she brought me out into the light and illuminated my life. I'll never forget that day, the day she taught me to change a light bulb. But if the competition is cancelled tonight and we haven't been able to catch the killer, then a light will go out in her once and for all, and she will never be the same again. If you won't do it for me, then do it for her.
I thought we were doing it for the money.
Yeah, so did I.
Anyway, the soup is the murder weapon and the soup came from the kitchens. Let's go see if we can find some more of those ginger whiskers.
Robert! I say, come here!
What can I do for you, fancy lass?
What can you do for me? You can do for me exactly what some other robot friends of yours did for me.
Well, speeches are well underway and we're still none the wiser. If only we had some notion as to what the outcome will be.
I know what you mean, Merrivale has been driving me mad too.
I just feel like we've somehow missed our opportunity.
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing. If I'd been able to get in there sooner, stand up when it counted, we'd have been able to save the day and avoided this whole situation. Now we've left things up to chance, and that's something I've never allowed to happen. It's like my daddy used to always say, the only thing to bet on is the thing that you already know is going to happen. Before the speeches, I was sure as Hersey lass. But after that speech from Holmes, I'm not so sure.
My goodness, John. You can't possibly think that Holmes could be our man.
Well, you could see why. I mean, he may have more teeth than brain cells, but the man sure knows how to give a speech.
But what does that have to do with him being a killer?
Nothing. I'm talking about the flutter I've had on the competition. Starting to think I made a big mistake putting all my money on Hersey lass.
My money's on Hersey Ross too.
Oh, god damn it, Merrivale, we should have talked about this. Go for different people, cover the spread.
Oh, I've not bet on him to win, John. I bet on him to kill.
Oh. Did you get good odds?
Oh, hush, John. Why would I get odds on something like that anyway?
Sputnik, he can calculate the odds of anything. I've got odds of 5 to 1 about Oleander ending up with a bucket of water on his head before the night's over.
Oh, whatever, John. Let's get back in there. Sputnik is about to give his speech, and we certainly don't want to miss that. And I've got a killer to catch.
I've got a bucket of water to place a precariously open door.
Thank you. Thank you, my beautiful people. I can hardly hear you over the sound of the applause. I can't even hear the applause. Oh, it's so wonderful to find that you've welcomed the world's greatest detective into your hearts, that you've bestowed upon me the...
Holmes! You're quite finished. We do have other competitors.
What's that? I can't hear you over the sound of adulation. Oh, this is magical. You beautiful, beautiful people.
I'll sort this, man.
Ah, chloroform. Good idea, John. So often the solution to life's little problems.
What was that, Merrivale?
Oh my. Thank you. All this adulation can be quite tiring. I suppose I shall be used to it by now.
Thank goodness for that. And now I'd like to introduce you to our next competitor, who is going to give us some delightful poetry. Please put your hands together for Lord Sputnik of Dixon's.
Is it me, or does he look different to you?
Greetings, assorted coughing dodgers. It is my purpose this evening to deliver one of my poems on the nature of emotions at the end of your scheduled refueling.
How goes the investigation? I think things are going quite well. I'm thinking everything's going to work out fine.
I wouldn't be too hasty if I were you. You're right, John. There is something different about Sputnik.
The head bone is connected to the neck bone, and the neck bone is connected to my mighty robotic claws.
So, talk me through exactly how you came to hire us, Miss Hemlock.
Well, when we had these debts, I thought to myself, something's not quite right here. And so I turned my thoughts immediately to the world's greatest detective, thinking he could solve the problem for me.
You hear that, Merrivale? As usual, when someone finds a body in mysterious circumstances, the first person they think of is Sherlock Holmes.
Well,
Sherlock is to detectives what Cuba is to vacuum.
Yeah, you both suck.
luckily he brought with him Dr. Watson, who could tell the most fantastic tales. And I thought I'd kill two proverbial birds with one of the proverbial stones. But it quickly became clear, with Watson's voice being stolen, and Holmes becoming so obsessed with winning the competition himself, that not only had I failed to kill a single bird, but they had taken up residence in my kitchen and were eating all my pies.
I was searching them for clues. Sweet, delicious clues.
April is the cruelest month. May is not so bad. June is when I crush, make the children bleed.
So, why us after Holmes?
Well, I have to say, I was feeling quite distraught until that nice Mr. Herzilos recommended you both. And then I discovered the beautiful soul fruits of Lord
Wait a
Sputnik.
minute. Herzilos recommended us.
What is it, Merrivale?
I don't know, John. Just a feeling. Something in my water.
Feeling? Something in your water? You sure it's not another urine
I
infection?
don't know, John. Maybe, but maybe not. Doctor, write out Herzilos on your board.
I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Then I ate his dog.
What is it, Merrivale?
Baroness Hertzloss.
But she's in Switzerland.
Not anymore. Oh, of course. It all makes sense. The murders, us, everything.
Do go on, Merrivale. A little exposition at this stage won't harm anyone. It's not like we're on a countdown to the next murder or anything.
Murder in T-minus 10 seconds.
Baroness Hertzloss was a regular face on the after-dinner scene. She told us as much herself.
Yeah, I should know I was there. I hit her with a stick.
Clearly, she bumped off the other contestants in order to ensure her own victory. Holmes and Watson here get called in, and she sees them as a threat.
No, clearly she was worried that I'd expose her for the villainous murderer that she is.
Do you even know who we're talking about?
Of course I do. It was her.
No, it ain't. It's her.
Her? He's a she. Oh my, it's just like Amsterdam all over again.
As Holmes has just so beautifully demonstrated, it wasn't his sleuthing she was worried about. Oh no, she was concerned about Watson and his oratory prowess. So, she stole his voice.
2 3/4.
So, where do you two fit in?
Well, obviously, she called us here too, so that she could kill us both as well and take her revenge for uncovering her plot to bump off her husband with a robot and steal his money. She never saw a penny of it.
So how do you think she's going to kill us anyway?
1. Time to die, meat sack.
Ah! Kill them, Robert! Kill them!
Don't worry, everyone. I've got an idea. Sputnik, is the answer to this question no?
What was that?
It was a paradox. A question without answer. His robot brain can't process it properly and it's frozen him in an infinite loop.
The answer is perhaps.
Udrat, quick, think of another one.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Merrivale, I think I can get a shot up. Should I shoot the bearded lady?
No, Tom, we need to take her alive.
The chicken eggs can't come.
I've got one. What rhymes with orange?
Nothing.
Oh, Holmes, you fool, that's not a paradox.
Nuts to paradoxes. I've got a better idea.
You know, he might be smarter than I gave him credit for.
Not really. That way leads to a dank, dark cellar with a rickety staircase.
There he goes, Sherlock Holmes, world's greatest detective.
Critical logic. Butters set to maximum, draining energy from main core.
I'm not sure that was a paradox, John, but good work. Now to Baroness Hertzloff, who has rather conveniently been sat here the entire time.
Oh, drat! Here I go again, getting caught up in the excitement. You think you can paradox me? Well, let me tell you, Holmes is only the greatest detective in the world because Watson writes him that way.
Paradox averted. Must kill humans.
So what exactly is going to happen when he gets to us?
Direct contact with his arms is enough to fry 1 million dinosaurs.
That seems a little excessive.
It's only what you people deserve, including my life.
Merrivale, it's been a pleasure working with you.
What are you doing, John?
I'm going to knock him down and take all the juice he's got. I want you to bring this foul criminal to justice when I'm nothing but a crispy fried corpse.
No, John, well, think of something. Think of all the criminals that will go unpunished if you die. Think of your wife.
My wife?
John, look out!
It looks like some kind of mathematical problem.
It must be the ultimate paradox, one which he has no way of compensating for. Well done, Doctor. You've saved us all. So, are you going to admit it?
Admit what?
The murders? Reprogramming Sputnik to try and kill us?
That, yes, I met it in that.
And stealing poor Watson's voice?
No, I didn't steal his voice. He's got a lovely voice. It's like music to the ears.
Well,
I can solve that mystery. I know exactly who did it. It was me!
Mr. Holmes, how could you?
Quite easy, really. I just reached in and took it. Well, I had to cut the larynx first.
I think
but...
she meant from a moral standpoint.
Well, that wasn't that much of an issue either, to be frank with you.
But why do it, man? Why? Sure, we've all been there, wishing we could steal the voice of another man as he uses its sweet baritone to seduce the woman you love. But we've all been able to resist.
Why? Why? I'll tell you why. I no longer wanted people to see me through Watson's eyes. I wanted people to see the real Sherlock, not the blithering idiot he paints me to be. I wanted people to see the real me.
My God. I can't help but think this is one twisted fiend that we should let go unpunished.
Well, the game's up, Holmes. Give it him back.
Oh, very well.
You bastard!
Obviously, it's going to take some getting used to.
You utter bastard!
Poor devil doesn't know what he's saying. It's okay, we'll get you used to using it again. I'll read you some of my poetry. How about that?
Kill me now!
Yes, come along. Won't take long.
Not so fast, Baroness.
Yeah, you're coming with us.
Very well, I got that once. I'll get that again.
And that's just one more crime we can bring you to justice for. He's just downloading his backup memories now. He'll be right as rain in no time. How are the memoirs coming along?
Oh, they're coming along brilliantly, aren't they, Doctor? If only I'd known how much fun it would be, I'd have been doing this years ago. Are you sure you don't want to be in them?
Yeah, I didn't get into the crime investigation business for the fame and the fortune.
Which is lucky, really.
I did it to avenge the death of my wife, fight crime and protect the innocent. And well, these recent events have made me realize then I've got a bit distracted from the avenging side of that. I could have died without ever having got justice for my wife. These last few years with you, Merrivale, have been brilliant. It was time for me to hit the road, pick up that trail scent, and let my wife finally rest in peace.
Well, if you're sure, but I'll miss you, John. You were the best partner a gal could ask for.
I'll miss you too, Merrivale. I'll look out for your book when it comes out. What's it called again?
Well, Watson didn't think that my name was very title-friendly, so he's not going to let me call it Merrivale, the mysterious murder solver extraordinaire. Instead, he's changed it to... Oh, what was it again? Ah, yes. Batman.
They'll never catch on.
Mr. Cliche, you must hear this.
John? I know you're there, John. Wake up, John. Wake up, wake up, wake up. I'm fine. Well, I know you've been looking for me, John, ever since that night when your wife suffered her fatal accident. Well, I just wanted to let you know I'm not finished with you. There's more to come. When you least expect it, I'll be there.
It can't be. How old is that message?
It can't be much more than a day. I must have received it while under Lady Herslaw's control. It was delivered straight to the backup server.
Merrivale, you know what this means?
That you're staying?
That there's crime to be solved. I would like to thank David, our director, at our final night. He adapted the play, did a brilliant job, has worked with us for this month, and I think most of us thought it was great. A few vocal minority didn't, but there we go. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's you've all done fantastic work. It's when I first saw this play, I knew this group would do it brilliantly, and it's turned out fantastic. Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming and watching it.
Joy!
or two. I'll start here.
Oh, the people. So many people. They all go hand in hand through there. But life.
I know, why is it always a little black dress? What's with them?
Can't hear the dress carrying baby wear.
They're just mad. They'll never catch on.
No, they do love Jerry though. She just doesn't care.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Mr. Robbie Williams.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna, really, really, really wanna sing a sing. If you want my future, forget my past. If you wanna get with me, better make it fast. Now don't go wasting my precious time. Get your act together, we could be just fine. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna, really, really, really wanna sing a sing. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking is too easy, but that's the way it is. So what you think about that? Now you know how I feel. Say you can handle my love, that you know it up. And won't be hasty, I gave you a try. If you really back me, then I'll say goodbye. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna sing a sing. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking is too easy, but that's the way it is. I'll take the story from A to Z. You gotta get with me, you gotta listen carefully. You got M in the place that likes it in your face. You go to like MC who likes it in that easy mean as a cup of green. She's a real lady, ask for me. I will say, slap me while you're down and ride us all around. Slap me while you're down and ride us all around. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking is too easy, but that's the way it is. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta slide. Slap your body down and wind it all around. Slap your body down and wind it all around. Hey. Slap your body down and wind it all around. Slap your body down and sing a sing. If you wanna be my lover.
What the bloody hell is going on here? Oh, Mum, I'm really sorry. I didn't think that you'd mind if I had a few friends over. It was mine when you completely lost control of your senses. You can hear that noise halfway down Golden Sword Avenue.
It's okay, Lucy. We're just going anyway.
All right, now, bye.
Sorry.
Why, Alex, why are you just like Spice Girl?
Oh, you know, Mummy's just at that funny age.
Yeah? What are you trying to say? Alright. Have it.
God.
progressed, with technological advances making the World Wide Web accessible to all. In football, Stockport County captivated the nation by reaching the semi-finals of the Coca-Cola Cup and promotion to Division 1. But for George, the 31st of August, 1997, was the day the music died.
Normal programming has been suspended.
This is BBC Television from London. Diana, Princess of Wales, has died after a car crash in Paris. The French government announced her death just before 5 o'clock.
Baby, I have no story to be told.
anticipated wedding between Kate and Wills, George has planned to arrange a massive street party involving hundreds of people. So that, my friends, is a story for another day, because I think I can hear a finale coming on. John did all the poster design and artwork. Most of all, I'd like the band to thank Jeff for putting the whole thing together. The whole thing's his concept, for his unfailing enthusiasm. Let's see all our pantomime in here, 20th and 21st of January next year. Be there. Thanks very much.
little.